Welcome to Daily English Audio. Have you ever felt tired, stressed, or ready to give up? Have you ever asked yourself, why is success so hard? Today, we are going to talk about a powerful idea that has changed millions of lives around the world. No pain, no gain. This short sentence has a deep meaning. It teaches us about success, discipline, growth, and mental strength. In this video, you will understand why pain is sometimes necessary for progress and how challenges can help you become stronger, smarter, and more confident. Stay with us until the end, because this message can change the way you think about difficulty and failure. Why no pain, no gain matters. The phrase "no pain, no gainer" means that we must work hard and sometimes feel uncomfortable if we want to improve. Nothing great comes easily. Athletes train for many hours. Students study late at night. Successful people fail many times before they win. Pain does not always mean physical pain. It can be mental pressure, fear, stress, or disappointment. But these difficult moments help us grow. Just like muscles grow after hard exercise, our character grows after hard experiences. In today's world, many people want fast results. They want success without effort. But real success needs patience, discipline, and strong effort. Now, let us go deeper into the first important point. Point 1. Growth never happens inside your comfort zone. A comfort zone is a place where you feel safe, relaxed, and in control. In this zone, there is no risk, no fear, and no challenge. While it feels good to stay comfortable, it does not help you improve. Imagine a student who never studies new subjects because they are difficult. That student will never increase knowledge or skills. Imagine a person who never exercises because it feels painful or tiring. That person will never become stronger or healthier. Real growth begins when you decide to face discomfort. When you wake up early to study, even if you feel sleepy, you are growing. When you practice speaking English and make mistakes, you are growing. When you try again after failure, you are growing. Pain in this case does not mean injury, it means effort and struggle. Scientists explain that when we challenge ourselves, our brain creates new connections. This process helps us learn and improve. In the same way, muscles become stronger after small tears during exercise. Without stress, there is no improvement. Many successful people say that their biggest progress happened during their hardest times. Difficult moments teach patience, problem solving, and emotional control. They build confidence because every small victory over discomfort makes you stronger. If you avoid all challenges, you also avoid success. The key is not to search for pain, but to accept it as part of the journey. Temporary discomfort creates long-term results. When you step outside your comfort zone, you discover abilities you did not know you had. You become more disciplined, more focused, and more resilient. This is the true meaning of no pain, no gain. It reminds us that progress requires effort, and effort sometimes feels uncomfortable. But that discomfort is proof that you are moving forward, not backward. Point 2. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success, but in reality, discipline is more important than motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Sometimes you feel excited, energetic, and ready to work. But other days, you feel tired, bored, or distracted. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will stop many times. Discipline is different. Discipline means doing what you must do, even when you do not feel like doing it. It means following your plan, keeping your promises, and staying consistent. For example, an athlete does not train only on days when they feel happy. They train every day because they have a goal. A student does not study only when the mood is perfect. They study because they know their future depends on it. This is the real meaning of no pain, no gain. The pain is waking up early, turning off your phone, saying no to distractions, and continuing when you feel tired. The gain is improvement, success, and self-respect. Discipline builds strong habits, and habits shape your life. When you repeat a positive action every day, it becomes easier over time. Research shows that consistent small actions create big long-term results. Even 1% improvement every day can lead to powerful change after 1 year. Discipline also builds mental strength. When you control your actions, you become stronger than your emotions. You learn that feelings come and go, but commitment stays. This gives you confidence. You begin to trust yourself. You know that even on difficult days, you will not quit. Many successful people say that their success was not because they were always motivated, but because they refused to stop. Motivation can start the journey, but discipline finishes it. If you want real growth, do not wait for the perfect feeling. Create a schedule. Follow it. Stay consistent. Accept temporary discomfort. Over time, your discipline will create results that motivation alone could never achieve. That is the deeper power behind no pain, no gain. Point 3. Many people are afraid of failure, but failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the process of success. When we hear the phrase no pain, no gain, we often think about hard work and physical effort, but we must also understand emotional pain, especially the pain of failing. Failure can feel embarrassing, disappointing, and frustrating. It can make you question your abilities and your dreams. However, failure is one of the most powerful teachers in life. Every mistake shows you what does not work and gives you a chance to improve. For example, when a child learns to walk, they fall many times. If the child decides to stop after the first fall, they will never learn to walk. But they continue trying, and slowly they become stronger and more balanced. The same is true for adults. Successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and students all experience failure. The difference is that they do not stop. They analyze their mistakes, adjust their strategy, and try again. Failure builds resilience, which means the ability to recover from difficulties. It also builds humility and patience. When you fail, you learn to control your emotions and think more clearly. You understand that progress takes time. Research in psychology shows that people who see failure as a learning opportunity grow faster than those who fear it. This mindset is called a growth mindset. Instead of saying, "I am not good at this," they say, "I am not good at this yet." That small word, "yet," changes everything. It creates hope and motivation to continue. The pain of failure is temporary, but the lessons are permanent. Each failure gives you experience, and experience gives you wisdom. Over time, these lessons build confidence because you know you can survive difficult moments. So do not see failure as a wall. See it as a step. Every step, even the painful ones, moves you closer to your goal. That is the true meaning of no pain, no gain. Point 4. Mental strength is not something you are born with, it is something you build through struggle and difficult experiences. When life is easy, you do not discover how strong you really are. But when you face pressure, problems, and uncertainty, your true character begins to grow. The phrase no pain, no gain is not only about physical training, it is also about training your mind. Just like muscles grow after resistance, your mind becomes stronger after challenges. For example, when you prepare for an important exam, you may feel stress and fear. When you start a new job, you may feel nervous and unsure. When you work toward a big dream, you may face criticism or rejection. These moments feel uncomfortable, but they are necessary for building confidence and emotional control. Each time you choose to stay calm instead of giving up, you increase your mental power. Each time you solve a problem instead of avoiding it, you become more capable. Mental strength means controlling your thoughts, managing your emotions, and staying focused on your goals even when things are difficult. It also means accepting that life will not always be perfect. Strong people are not people without problems, they are people who face problems with courage. Studies in psychology show that people who overcome challenges develop higher resilience and better problem-solving skills. They learn patience, discipline, and self-belief. Struggle teaches you that discomfort is temporary, but growth is lasting. When you pass through a hard period and succeed, you feel proud because you know it was not easy. That pride increases your self-respect. Over time, small struggles prepare you for bigger responsibilities. If you avoid every difficulty, your mental strength stays weak. But if you accept challenges step by step, your confidence grows naturally. In the end, mental strength becomes your greatest advantage in life. This is the deeper lesson behind no pain, no gain. Point 5. Success is not created by one big action, it is created by small actions repeated every day. This is one of the most important lessons behind the phrase no pain, no gain. Many people start with strong energy. They feel excited and work very hard for a short time. But after a few days or weeks, they stop. They become tired, distracted, or disappointed because results are not immediate. The truth is that real progress takes time, and consistency is the bridge between effort and success. Consistency means continuing even when progress feels slow. It means showing up every day, even if your improvement is small. For example, if you improve your English for just 20 minutes every day, after 1 year your level will be completely different. If you exercise 3 times a week for 1 year, your body will become stronger and healthier. Small actions may not look powerful in one day, but over months and years, they create transformation. Scientists explain this idea through the principle of gradual improvement. Small positive habits build momentum. When you repeat an action many times, your brain becomes more efficient at doing it. It becomes easier and more natural. This reduces resistance and increases confidence. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. When you keep your promises to yourself, you develop self-respect. You begin to believe that you are a disciplined and reliable person. That belief changes your identity. Instead of saying, "I try," you start saying, "I do." The pain in this process is not dramatic. It is quiet and daily. It is choosing practice instead of comfort. It is choosing patience instead of quick results. But this daily effort is powerful. Over time, consistency multiplies your results. What feels small today becomes big tomorrow. In the end, no pain, no gain teaches us that steady effort, repeated with discipline, creates extraordinary success. The key is not to be perfect. The key is to never stop. Point 6. One of the deepest meanings of no pain, no gain is the idea of sacrifice. Sacrifice means giving up something small now in order to receive something bigger in the future. Many people want freedom, success, financial stability, or personal growth, but they are not willing to sacrifice comfort, time, or entertainment. The truth is that every achievement requires a price. That price is usually time, effort, focus, and patience. For example, a student who wants high grades must sacrifice some free time to study. A person who wants to start a business may sacrifice weekends and social events to build their dream. An athlete sacrifices junk food and late nights to improve performance. At first, sacrifice feels painful because you are choosing discipline over comfort. You may feel that others are enjoying life more than you. However, this temporary discomfort creates long-term freedom. When you build strong skills, good habits, and financial stability, you gain choices. You gain control over your future. Many successful people say they worked hard for years so they could live freely later. This does not mean you must suffer all the time. It means you must think long-term. Short-term pleasure often leads to long-term problems, while short-term discipline often leads to long-term success. Sacrifice also builds character. It teaches you self-control and responsibility. When you learn to delay satisfaction, you strengthen your decision-making ability. Psychologists call this delayed gratification, and research shows that people who practice it often achieve higher success in life. They can wait for bigger rewards instead of choosing small, immediate pleasure. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the benefits can last for years. When you look back, you will feel proud of the effort you made. You will understand that every early morning, every focused hour, and every difficult choice helped you grow. In the end, no pain, no gain reminds us that today's discipline. Point 7. One of the most powerful parts of no pain, no gain is the role of self-belief. If you do not believe in yourself, even small problems can stop you. But when you truly believe that you can grow and improve, you see challenges differently. Self-belief does not mean thinking you are perfect. It means trusting that you can learn, adapt, and continue, even when things are difficult. Many people quit not because the task is impossible, but because they doubt their own ability. Doubt creates fear, and fear creates excuses. However, belief creates courage. When you believe in yourself, you are more willing to accept pain as part of progress. For example, when learning a new skill like speaking English, you may feel embarrassed when you make mistakes. If you think, "I am bad at this," you will stop practicing. But if you think, "I am learning and I will improve," you will continue. That belief keeps you moving forward. Psychologists explain that confidence grows from action, not from waiting. Each small success builds stronger belief. When you complete a difficult task, your mind remembers it. The next time you face a challenge, you feel more prepared. This creates a positive cycle. Effort leads to small success. Small success increases belief. Strong belief leads to bigger effort. Over time, your identity changes. You no longer see yourself as someone who gives up. You see yourself as someone who persists. This identity is powerful. It affects your decisions, your habits, and your future. The pain in this process is facing your fears and continuing anyway. It is speaking even when your voice shakes. It is trying again after failure. But each brave action makes your belief stronger. In the end, no pain, no gain is not only about physical or mental struggle. It is about building unshakable confidence. When you believe in yourself, pain becomes temporary, but your strength becomes permanent. Point 8. One of the strongest reasons people give up is that they focus only on the present moment. When something feels difficult, painful, or slow, they forget why they started. This is why long-term vision is so important. No pain, no gain becomes powerful only when you connect your daily effort to a bigger goal. A long-term vision means having a clear picture of the future you want. It could be a successful career, strong health, financial independence, or personal growth. When you know where you are going, short-term pain becomes easier to accept. For example, if you are studying late at night, you may feel tired. But if you remember that education can change your life, that tiredness feels meaningful. If you are training at the gym and your muscles hurt, you remember that you want to be healthier and stronger. That vision gives purpose to the pain. Without vision, effort feels empty. With vision, effort feels valuable. Many successful people say they survived difficult years because they believed in their future. They did not see struggle as punishment. They saw it as preparation. A long-term vision also helps you stay patient. Big goals take time. Progress is often slow and invisible at the beginning. But when you keep your eyes on the bigger picture, you understand that today's effort is an investment. Psychologists explain that people who think long-term make better decisions and show higher persistence. They are less controlled by temporary emotions because they focus on lasting rewards. The pain you feel today is temporary, but the results of your discipline can last for years. When you build a clear vision, you create direction. Direction creates motivation. Motivation creates action. And repeated action creates success. In the end, no pain, no gain reminds us that struggle is easier when it has meaning. When your future is clear in your mind, today's difficulty becomes a small step toward a powerful destination. Point 9. One of the most important lessons behind no pain, no gain is that hard work does not only change your results, it changes your character. Character is the way you think, act, and respond to life. It includes honesty, responsibility, patience, and respect. When you choose hard work instead of easy shortcuts, you build integrity. Integrity means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. In today's world, many people look for quick success. They want fast money, fast fame, and instant results. But shortcuts often lead to weak foundations. When success comes too easily, it does not teach discipline or responsibility. However, when you work hard for something, you understand its value. For example, a student who studies consistently learns not only information but also time management and focus. A worker who earns money through honest effort feels proud because the success is real. The pain in this process may be long hours, slow progress, or repeated effort. But this pain builds strength inside you. It teaches you to keep promises, finish what you start, and stay committed even when things are difficult. Over time, people begin to trust you more because they see your consistency and honesty. Hard work also creates self-respect. When you achieve something through effort, you know it was not luck. You know you earned it. That knowledge builds confidence that cannot be easily broken. Challenges also test your values. When you face pressure, you decide whether to give up or continue, whether to cheat or stay honest. Each decision shapes your identity. No pain, no gain reminds us that the struggle is not only about reaching a goal. It is about becoming a better person in the process. The gain is not only success, it is stronger character, deeper discipline, and greater integrity. In the end, the person you become is more important than the goal you achieve. Point 10. The final and deepest meaning of no pain, no gain is that the true reward is not only the result you achieve, but the person you become during the journey. Many people think the goal is everything. They believe happiness will come only after success. However, real growth happens step by step while you are working, struggling, and improving. The process changes you. It transforms your mindset, your habits, and your identity. For example, imagine someone who trains for a marathon. At the end, they receive a medal. But the medal is small compared to the transformation inside them. During months of training, they develop discipline, endurance, and self-control. They learn to wake up early, to continue when tired, and to push beyond limits. The same happens in education, business, or personal goals. The long nights, the repeated practice, the failures, and the small improvements slowly shape a stronger version of you. The pain teaches patience. The obstacles teach creativity. The delays teach emotional control. Over time, you become more confident because you know you can survive difficulty. You stop fearing challenges because you understand that challenges help you grow. This transformation is permanent. Even if you set a new goal, the strength you built remains with you. Success may come and go, but personal growth stays. That is why no pain, no gain is not just a motivational sentence. It is a life principle. It reminds us that struggle has purpose. It tells us that discomfort is part of progress. It shows us that every effort adds something valuable to our character. In the end, the real gain is not only money, grades, or recognition. The real gain is becoming disciplined, resilient, confident, and focused. When you look back, you will realize that the pain was temporary, but the transformation was powerful and lasting. Point 12. One of the most powerful ways to make no pain, no gainer work for you is through reflection. Experiencing challenges, effort, and discomfort is not enough if you do not take time to think about what you have learned. Reflection turns hard experiences into wisdom. Every time you push through pain, overcome obstacles, or face failure, you collect knowledge about yourself, your limits, and your strategies. Without reflection, these lessons may be forgotten, and the same mistakes can happen again. For example, if a student studies hard but never reviews their mistakes, they will struggle to improve. If an athlete trains hard but never thinks about how to correct their technique, progress slows. Reflection allows you to analyze what works and what does not. It helps you plan better, make smarter choices, and avoid unnecessary struggles in the future. Psychologists call this metacognition. Thinking about your thinking. When you develop this habit, your brain becomes more efficient at solving problems. Reflection also strengthens mental resilience. When you look back on past challenges and see that you survived, you realize that current difficulties are temporary. You build confidence and patience because you know you have overcome pain before. Additionally, reflection deepens gratitude and perspective. You begin to appreciate your growth and the small victories along the way. You understand that every failure, disappointment, and moment of discomfort was part of your journey. This habit also improves decision-making. When you reflect, you notice patterns in your behavior and can adjust your actions to align with your goals. Over time, reflection creates wisdom that cannot be gained from shortcuts or easy paths. It transforms simple effort into meaningful progress. In essence, no pain, no gain is not only about enduring challenges, it is about learning from them. By reflecting regularly, you turn temporary struggle into long-term insight, making every difficult. Point 14. Focus is one of the most powerful tools for turning the principle of no pain, no gain into real success. Effort alone is not always enough. Without focus, energy can be wasted, progress slows, and results may never appear. Focus means directing your attention entirely to the task at hand, avoiding distractions, and prioritizing what truly matters. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, notifications, entertainment, and constant noise compete for our attention. Without focus, even hours of work can have little impact. For example, a student may spend 3 hours studying, but if their mind keeps wandering, the knowledge does not stick. An athlete may train for hours, but without concentration on proper technique, progress slows. Focus transforms effort into meaningful results. It allows you to work smarter, not just harder. Psychologists explain that deep focus activates the brain's ability to process information efficiently, improves memory, and accelerates learning. Focus also builds mental endurance. When you train your mind to ignore distractions and maintain attention on difficult tasks, you increase resilience and discipline. This mental strength becomes valuable in every area of life. Moreover, focus gives you clarity. When you know exactly what your goal is and concentrate on it, you can make better decisions and avoid wasting time on unnecessary tasks. It aligns your actions with your objectives, creating a direct path from effort to achievement. Pairing focus with persistence magnifies the power of no pain, no gain. Every hour of concentrated effort produces more results than many hours of scattered, distracted work. Focus also enhances motivation because progress becomes visible. When you see your hard work producing tangible outcomes, you feel encouraged to continue, even when the process is challenging. In the end, focus is the bridge between struggle and success. It ensures that your pain, your effort, your discipline. Point 15. The final and most practical point of no pain, no gain is taking action immediately. Knowledge, motivation, and planning are important, but without action, they are useless. Many people wait for the perfect time to start, when they feel ready, when conditions are ideal, or when everything seems easy. The truth is that the perfect time rarely exists. Success begins the moment you decide to act, even if the conditions are uncomfortable or uncertain. Taking action creates momentum. One small step today leads to another step tomorrow, and over time, these steps build into significant progress. For example, learning English requires daily practice, even if it is just 10 to 20 minutes. Writing one sentence, listening to one audio clip, or reading one paragraph may feel small, but consistent action accumulates results. Similarly, starting a new project, improving health, or pursuing a goal begins with small, immediate steps. Action also turns fear and doubt into experience. When you act, you face challenges, make mistakes, and learn how to overcome obstacles. Without action, fear grows, and confidence shrinks. Taking action builds courage, resilience, and self-belief. Psychologists explain that the brain responds to doing rather than planning. Progress occurs when you engage, not when you only imagine. In this sense, pain is the discomfort of starting, and gain is the results, skills, and transformation that follow. Every successful person began by acting despite uncertainty, difficulty, or discomfort. Waiting for motivation, luck, or perfect conditions only delays growth. Action is the bridge that connects all the principles we discussed: discipline, patience, focus, consistency, sacrifice, reflection, and mental strength. In the end, no pain, no gain teaches that growth is intentional. Every effort you make today shapes your future. Every small step, every moment of persistence, and every brave decision brings you closer to becoming the person you want to be.